Alright, y'all. So today we gonna get into the ops. You know what I mean? We got a new one for you. You know I stay with something for you. You know I got you, baby. You know I got you, baby. So we gonna get into the ops today. And what's the ops? Say, say, oh, what's the wood? It's not what you think it is. Alright, I'm done. Y'all know I'm silly, man. Y'all know I'm silly. I'm done, though. So the ops, you know what the ops is. Your opposition is. We gonna get into the opposite signs. You feel me? So we gonna look at the opposite planets. So we got Mars and Venus. You feel me? And we got Aries and Libra, and we got Scorpio and Taurus. You feel me? So that's what we gonna get into first. You feel me? Then we also got, you feel me? We got Mercury and Jupiter. You feel me? We got Sagittarius and Gemini, and we got, you know what I mean, Pisces and Virgo. You feel me? So then we got, you see where this is going. You see where this is going. If you know, then you know. And if not, then walk with me. You feel me? Walk with me, and I'll lead you through. You feel me? I'll be your air tour guide. You feel me? On my air shit, providing you with all the information that you need. You feel me? So if you don't know or you do know, yeah, I mean, just walk with me, talk with me a little bit. Let's exchange this information. You feel me? Let's connect. Let's communicate. You feel me? The first stop, we gonna stop at Venus and Mars. You feel me? We gonna pull up on Aries, pull up on Libra. You feel me? See what's shaking with Taurus. You feel me? See what Scorpio up to. Yeah, I mean, so we gonna get into that today. We gonna see how they relate. See how each of these signs deal with their opposition. Let's see how they handle the ops. You feel me? So you know you got Venus. Venus is all about the pleasures. Venus is all about, you know, creativity, what you enjoy, you know, the things you like. Venus is all about the pleasures in life, the nice things, the beautiful things, the joys in life. You know what I mean? So, and then on the other hand, we got Mars. You know what I mean? We got Mars. Mars is a soldier. Mars is that go get it energy. You know what I like to say. Mars is all about how you get out there and get it. Mars is all about the action. Mars is all about, you know what I mean, getting things done, period. You know what I mean? Now, Venus on the other hand, you feel me? Venus can respect that, you feel me? Venus respect what Mars give out, you feel me? That's the thing. Venus can respect that. Venus understands that. Venus understands that, you feel me? They understand that. They can appreciate all that action. They can appreciate that you're willing to put in all of the they can appreciate that you're willing to put in the energy to get what you want, you feel me? Venus can understand that. What Venus don't understand is why you gotta be doing all that. Why you gotta be doing all that, you feel me? Why do you have to do all that? Like, Venus is, like I told you, it's all about the pleasure, it's all about life, it's about, you know what I mean, nice things, peaceful things, you see what I'm saying? So Venus is like, you can get that done without even having to do all that. You know what I mean? You can move this piece here, you can do this, this, and that. You could have just did this and you could have got that done. Whereas Mars is like, you know what I mean? On the other hand, Mars look at Venus like, yeah, I respect that. You like to, you know what I mean, talk to people, you like to be nice. You like to keep the peace and harmony, you know what I mean? I can respect all that. You want to talk it out, you want to relate, you want to do all of that. I can respect that. You like to, you know what I mean? You can, you know how to talk to people and you know how to, you know what I mean, put things in the right light to get things done, and you know what I mean, you know what I mean, you work smarter, not harder. Mars can respect that, like, okay, you still getting things done, but you ain't gotta do all that. Mars can respect that, like, okay, I respect that. What I don't respect is, bruh, why won't you, bruh, why don't you, like, bruh, why won't you get off your ass, bruh? Like, straight up, that's how Mars look at it, like, bruh, I respect that. I respect that you can get things done without doing nothing. But, bruh, why won't you do nothing? Like, when it's time for you to move, why won't you move, bruh? Like, why you always need somebody else to be, you know what I mean? Why you always need, why can't you get it done? You feel me? Why it always gotta be peaceful? Why you always gotta let stuff go? Why you always gotta be the bigger person? You feel me? Why sometimes you can't, you know what I mean? Ruffle some feathers, you feel me? Why it always got to be, no. You feel me? It ain't always about relating. It ain't always about being nice. It ain't always about that. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta shake shit up. Sometimes you gotta go through a motherfucker. Or Venus would be like, bruh, you know, just go around them. Like, you gonna get to where you going. Like, why would I go through you and I go around you? I can ask you to move. You feel? Like, that's what Venus on. Like, bruh, I can ask you to move. I can tell you. You know what I mean? I can ask you to move. I can go around you. Like, why the fuck? Why would I go through you? And Mars is just like, bruh, go through 'em. Like, straight up, like, I ain't ask you to move nothing, like, you in the way of my final destination, like, bro, I'm going through you, period. You see what I'm saying? No, I'm not finna sit here and have a 15-minute conversation with you about where I'm going and why I'm trying to get. No, I'm not finna try to convince you to move out. No, I'm not finna do that. I'm finna go straight through you. Whereas Venus might sit there, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Talk to him a little bit, you know what I mean? Make him feel good, make him want to move out the way. You feel me? Make him want to get out your way. Like, oh, they got somewhere to be. Let me get out the way. Like, Venus might, man. Move, bruh. That's a Mars. Move, bruh. If you ain't gonna move, I'ma move you, period. So this is why, you know what I mean? It could give a good push-pull element to it, you know what I mean? The villain Venus and the Mars. But this is why they don't get along, because it's just like, bruh, why did you have to do that? Like, bruh, why did you, like, bro, did you really have, bro, you had to start a whole, bro, over that? Like, that's how Venus in there looking at Mars, like, bro, you really just fought them over there, bro. Bro, we could have just did it. You know what I mean? Like, bro, we could have just went on about our way. Like, we didn't have to do all that. Like, we could have just, but here you go. That's how Venus be feeling when Mars going around. Here you go. Then vice versa, you know what I mean? Here come Mars. I mean, that Mars feels, you know what I mean? When Venus come in the room, Mars like, bruh, why you got to always be relating to something, bro? Why you always got to be talking to somebody? Why you always got to be caring about with another motherfucker? Like, why you always got to be nice? Why you always got to be trying to, you know what I mean? Like, why you always got to be just, bruh, just do you, like, bruh. Why it always got to be somebody? Why you got to be relating something? You feel me? Why you got to be having another motherfucker involved? You feel me? Why it got to be nice and sweet? You feel me? Why it always got to be peaceful when you come around? Like, bro, if it's tension in there, it's tension in the air, we gonna address it. Just 'cause you in the room don't mean everybody got to be cool. Nah, it ain't cool. It ain't cool. Like, bro, what? You think I'm... Oh, okay. But they could also work together, you know what I mean? Venus and Mars, because remember, that's that opposite energy, you know what I mean? But the thing is, you know what I mean, at the core, you know what I mean, they just handle things differently, you know what I mean? They just handle things differently. And that just is what it is. But if they can respect how each other handles things and learn how to kind of, because they're supposed to really learn from that, you know what I mean? That's why they're opposed, you know what I mean? That's why you have Sun in Aries ruled by Mars, you have Sun in Libra ruled by Venus, you have Sun in Taurus ruled by Venus, you have Sun in Scorpio ruled by Mars, you see what I'm saying? Mars and Pluto, but you see what I'm saying? This is for this aspect. You see what I'm saying? That's why you have those opposing. You have things in common. You meet in the middle. There are core things that you guys have in common, but you just express it differently. You see what I'm saying? So, like, let's take a Aries. So, like, let's say Aries do something. A Libra might not agree with the action. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a Libra might not agree with the action Aries took, but they can feel them though. Like they understand what Aries is coming from. You see what I'm saying? And vice versa. Like, and Aries probably can't understand how Libra dealt with something. Like, you see what I'm saying? But Aries can understand the sentiment. Like, let's say if an Aries get fired up, like smack somebody for something. Like, say Aries smack somebody. Like, let's give a scenario. Let's say somebody took something out of Aries' house or something. Let's say somebody took something, right? And they went and slapped. They just went off and beat their ass. They ain't asked no question. They ain't try to figure out who had it. They just thought of the first person who they thought had it and went out and beat their ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, on some Aries type. Like, whoever they thought had it, the first person they thought that might have took it, yeah, they got it. Like, alright. So, a Libra understand, like, why the Aries mad. Like, a Libra understand, like, bro, you took something from me, and, bro, that's disrespect, and that's a high level of disrespect, and it has to be dealt with. Yeah, I mean, it has to be dealt with, period. You know what I mean? It will not be tolerated. And, a Libra understand that, you see what I'm saying? A Libra get that. They get the principle behind it, you see what I'm saying? Behind the fire, you see what I'm saying? That's where they can meet in the middle. They understand each other's principles, you see what I'm saying? They understand each other's morals. They understand each other, you see what I'm saying? But they gonna act in different ways. They gonna express it in different ways, you see what I'm saying? So they Libra can understand, like, bro, somebody took something from you, bro, and you need that back. Like, you know what I mean? You gonna have whatever action accordingly, whatever action you need to take to get that back. But a Libra gonna more so be like, well, dang, why ain't you try to figure out who took it first? Like, you ain't asked nobody, you ain't try to find it, you ain't try to do nothing to try to figure nothing out. You just went out and be the first person to ask that you thought had it. Like, you ain't try to Libra, whereas Libra gonna more so relate. Like, you know what I mean? It's more go mental, it's more so communication. They gonna try to figure out who got it. They gonna use that mental, you know what I'm saying? They gonna try to figure so they can direct that energy in the right direction. But they understand that energy though, you know what I'm saying? But they gonna handle it differently. Whereas Libra might try to talk about it, you know what I mean, try to figure out who got it, do all this and that, relating and all of that, using all that air and all that Venus and whatnot. And they might get their stuff back just off, you know what I mean, off the strength. Like, they might get they ain't have to put a hand on nobody, you know what I mean? But that's what they gotta learn from each other. Libras gotta learn. Sometimes you can't be relating no more. Sometimes you can't go talk to 1,000 more. Sometimes you just gotta go directly to it. Get straight to it. Let's just skip all of that. Sometimes you gotta get straight to it. And then Mars, yeah, I mean that Martian, that Aries, you gotta learn that tact. Sometimes you gotta have tact. Sometimes you gotta slow down. Sometimes you gotta think about it. Sometimes you gotta employ patience. You know what I mean? Before you go out. But that's what they gotta learn from each other. But if they learn that from each other, like I said, those morals and those principles and those values, they can understand each other at the core, you see what I'm saying? That core is very similar, you know what I mean? We ain't gonna say exactly the same, but it ain't too much different, you know what I mean? So that's why you'll see, like, you know what I mean, when you do see the opposites getting along, that's why, because they understand each other at the core, even though they may act differently or they don't agree with each other's actions. They have that core understanding of each other, where it's like, okay, we about the same thing, but you just, you know what I mean, you do it this way, I do it that way, you know what I mean? Then they can employ different stuff and learn different things from one another and how to, you know what I mean, balance themselves out. But some people will oppose that, you feel me? You know what I mean? That they oppose that, even though the core is the same, you try to get the same things done, their values at the end of the day are the same. You know what I mean? The way you expressing it is just like, oh, that might repulse them, or it might interest them, they might respect it. Like I said, you'll have either or, you know what I mean? They can respect that in you, you know what I mean? That opposite, where it's just like, oh, dang, I wish I could handle things like that, where I could just get stuff done without expelling so much energy. You know what I mean? This is from the Mars to the Venus, you know what I mean? I wish I could get things done without using so much of my energy, draining myself and what, you know what I mean? Like, they can respect that, but on the other hand, they could also, you know what I mean, not respect it. Like, bro, why you always need somebody else? Why you always got all these relationships? Why you always relating to people? Why you always think everything supposed to be all good? Why you always in peace? Why you always think shit is sweet? You know what I mean? Like, why you think shit sweet? Like, that's how that's how the Mars will be looking at the Venus. Like, bruh, shit ain't sweet. Like, why do you think shit sweet? Like, and that'll frustrate them. Like, bruh, I just can't. I can't do it. But like I said, you could also have where they'll learn how to respect that and understand where it's coming from. You know what I mean? If they get to that point where they can, which an Aries may not take time to do, a Martian individual may not take time to do. But once they understand that, like at the core, they trying to get the same things done, they just shouldn't get it done in different ways. You see what I'm saying? So that was part one of your Opps video. We got to get into Venus and Mars, and we got to look at Aries and Libra, and got to see how those two planets, those oppositions, play out in those two signs, and how, you know, that polarity can be a good thing or a bad thing. You feel me? Depending on how each sign is able to handle it, how they're able to accept themselves and deal with themselves. You know what I mean? Meet in the middle. You feel me? They always have those similar characteristics. You feel me? So even though they may not agree with the actions or how the person goes about it, those key principles, those key morals, where they meet in the middle will be the same. And if they can learn to appreciate that about each other, then they can, work together and be able to be successful. If Mars can learn how to chill out, Mars, if Aries can learn how to chill out sometimes, you feel me? It ain't that, you ain't got to Not right now. Just chill out. Just wait. That impulsivity, if they can learn how to control that a little bit, you know what I mean, temper, you know what I mean, just simmer down a little bit for the Venus, you know what I mean, it's all good. Now, if that Venus can learn how to, you know what I mean, have a little bit of edge, learn when to, you know what I mean, you learn when to say when, you feel me, learn not to always be trying to relate, learn how to, you know what I mean, not always take everything, always trying to be on saying, the shit ain't sweet. If Venus can learn that shit ain't always sweet, let's get straight to it. You see how I was trying to go roundabout on that Venus shit? Let me get to the Mars. If they can just learn that shit ain't sweet sometimes, and sometimes you gotta handle things accordingly, then it'll be all good, you feel me? Because, like I told you before, the Libra's gonna respect that. You know what I mean? That directness in the Aries, you feel me? The Libra's gonna respect that. The Aries is gonna respect the Libra's ability to get things done without having to do so much, you feel me? They're gonna be able to respect that, you see what I'm saying? They have to also learn how to tolerate those characteristics that they aren't necessarily as fond of in one another, you feel me? Which is that impulsivity, which is that people pleasing, which is, you see what I'm saying? Which is that. So if they can learn how to, you know what I mean, overcome those things, and like I said, they can work harmoniously together and have a good push pull, and you know what I mean, have a good vibe amongst them, and have those similar key principles in common to where they can always come back to that foundation to build upon. So, as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you kick back with part 2. You feel me? We're going to get into the Taurus and Scorpio. Let me know what you think down below. Come on with it.